Hey guys, so when you're creating a lead ad inside of Facebook, you're going to go ahead and just log into your ads manager as you usually will. And then obviously when you're on your ads manager screen, obviously with the statistics and all that sort of stuff, you're just going to go ahead and click the create a campaign button just like normal. Don't worry about that. And then essentially what you're going to do is you're going to select the lead generation objective just there. In terms of naming it, obviously it's entirely up to you what you name it. For now, just for the purpose of this video, I'm just going to leave it as lead generation. You're going to go ahead, click continue. Then the first thing you want to make sure that you've done is you just want to ensure that you're advertising on the correct Facebook page. So let's say advertising about Travis Jones. I'm going to leave it on that Facebook page for now. Now, if you haven't run a lead gen ad off of that particular Facebook page before, it will then prompt you to accept Facebook's lead ad terms and conditions, which you'll just have to view, scroll down, and accept. Okay. Once you've done that, again, everything else is pretty much as normal for the targeting section side of things. You're going to go ahead, you'll do your traditional targeting. Let's say I'm putting an ad targeting Melbourne, and hypothetically, let's say I wanted to bring that one down to 10-mile radius, and I would like to target ladies within, let's say, 25 to 45 year age range. Okay, so I'll do that, and then obviously as I do that, you'll see the potential reach update as we do our targeting. Now, for the detailed targeting, hypothetically, let's say I wanted to target people that were small business owners as a behavior. All right, and you'll see these pop up. All right, and I'll go ahead, select that. It'll go down from 900,000 to 24,000 people. Now, with lead ads, typically, and just with most ads, you'll typically want a minimum audience size of 20,000 people and upwards. Now, there's a balance between being specific with your ad and obviously going too broad, but in terms of the longevity of it, you'll need a minimum of 20,000 people for your ad to at least be viable to run at a small budget for at least 2 weeks. So, rule of thumb, 20,000 people or more. Okay, placements, that's just simply where your ads are going to be displayed inside of Facebook's network. As a rule of thumb, again, we'll typically try and just display it on Facebook's news feeds. So I'm going to go ahead and deselect Instagram, and I'm going to go ahead and deselect Instant Articles. And by default, it'll just have news feeds selected. Okay, scrolling down. So now we're up to the daily budget and schedule if we wanted to apply a daily schedule to that. Typically, you're just going to leave it on daily budget. You're just going to make sure that you have obviously the decimal point in the right place. You don't want to be spending $200 when realistically you're just projecting for 20 a day. Okay, so just ensure that you have that correct. Scrolling down, you don't really need to worry about any of these other options here. That's more very advanced sort of stuff, and it really won't benefit you much if you waste time or even try and test these things. Alright, that's essentially the ad set targeting section done. So you're going to go ahead, click continue, and now we're up to the actual ad itself. So what people will see in their news feeds, and essentially what will happen once they click on the ad. Alright, so when creating the ad, I'm just going to go ahead and click a single image ad for now. I'm going to remove that one, and then I'm going to go ahead and upload a image. So let's say I was doing a 28-day fitness challenge for women, so I'm going to go ahead and select that image. Okay, and you'll see as we do it that the example ad of what it will look like will preview on the right, and then you're going to go ahead and put your ad copy here. Okay, and you'll see as I do that, give it a chance and it'll update, and that's where that essentially ad text goes. It goes above the image. Now the headline itself, headline goes here. Give that a moment to refresh, and you'll see that the headline just goes below the image in a slightly larger, slightly more bold text. Okay. The rest of them, display link doesn't matter for this, newsfeed link description doesn't matter for this. It's really just the ad copy and the headline that you need to worry about. The call to action, that's essentially the button you see on the bottom right of the ad. Rule of thumb, just leave it as the learn more call to action. That typically works the best for most situations. Alright, scrolling down. Now this is where it's different. Essentially, normally you're just going to drive someone to a landing page or a website, but here, when people click on the ad, this is what comes up, this is what drops down. Now we've already got a couple here, but we're going to go ahead and create a new one from scratch. Alright, we're going to select more volume, which essentially, if I selected the higher intent option, it just gives people one extra step in the opt-in process. It really doesn't make massive difference. If we're wanting to refine the form further and make it, let's say hypothetically, a more high quality of lead, we'll just add additional questions before people can opt in, and you'll see what I mean in a moment. But for now, rule of thumb, just leave it as more volume. Alright, the intro. You can see here already the example of where the headline text goes. You got the headline here in the intro. You can see it's already updated. We're going to use the image from our ad, so it'll be exactly the same image. If you want to change the image, you can do so by uploading an image there, but most times you won't need to. You'll just use the same image. Alright, and then here is the main body of text. Okay, now anything you type in here is not going to affect the ad that we just created before. This is just the form that people will opt in on. Alright, that's pretty much all you need to do there. Not the final part, but the main part is essentially the opt-in questions and the opt-in form that you're just about to create. So we're going to have our little call to action for the opt-in just here in the questions headline, and you'll see the example right there. Usually it's just going to be register your interest below. Okay, and then you're going to go ahead and you're going to decide on what questions you want people to fill in. As you can see, we've already got email and full name. If you wanted to have the name in the first spot, some people that are OCD like myself have to have the name, then email, then phone number. Just deselect email and then reselect it, and you'll see it's rearranged. I'm going to select phone number as well. You can ask as many questions as you want. You can ask what state they're in, their address if you want to. For the purpose of this, I'm just not going to worry about that. If you really want to, you can even create custom questions. I'll quickly do that now. You can do multiple choice, you have conditional, and you have an appointment scheduling. More often than not, it's probably just going to be a short answer or a multiple choice. Okay, so the question can be, what is your annual income? Okay, and then the multiple choice, you just type in the answers here. So let's say 50K, and you press enter, 60K, enter, 70K, so on and so forth, right? And these are all questions that will have a drop down when they're on the form that they can select which one applies to them. Okay, so I'll leave that in there for now, and you'll see on the right, once I go over here, that there'll be an option there, what is your annual income? Now here, the privacy policy, you just have to put a URL address. So just here, you just type in privacy policy, but then here you have to actually put a link to the privacy policy. More often than not, if you don't have a specific privacy policy page on your website, you can just type in the URL address for your Facebook page. Facebook typically doesn't pick up on it. It's just a little trick I think you can use to just get around it, or you can just put the URL address of your website's homepage. I'm just going to type in example.com. Okay, and then finally the thank you screen. So this is what pops up once people have submitted their details. This part doesn't really matter too much, but what you can do is, instead of view website, if you want, you can say view our Facebook page, and you simply just put in the URL address for the business's Facebook page. More often than not, people aren't going to worry about this. It's just there in case they want to do a little bit more exploring. Alright, once you've done that, essentially the form creation is all done, so you're going to go ahead and click save, and then you're going to go ahead and click finish. I'm not going to do that because I don't want to save this form, so I'm just going to cancel out of that. Click OK. But for yourselves, you can obviously click save and then finish, and then it'll pop up just here, and you'll see what your form looks like just there. And then essentially, just scrolling down, you're done. You're going to go ahead and click confirm. The ad will just go into Facebook's review process, and once it gets approved, it'll be up and running. So Hopefully that all made sense. It's pretty straightforward. It's simply just Facebook's way of capturing people's information, all on the Facebook platform instead of sending people to a landing page or a website. Alright, let me know how you go, guys. If you need any additional help, you can always ask me in the Facebook group. Cheers, guys.